And those 4 students, I have taken your names, and I'm not going to forget. Abdul Bari, Hussein, Mahir, Nizar, and Wright. Just a moment. I'm just going to put your names in the attendance and progress of the course list. Now we are starting. You remember that we were discussing the topic called ethics, and we have already. Can you hear me, by the way? And I believe you can see me. Those 4 students. Okay, thank you, thank you. There is the there is a good story about that. That is also a very ethical issue. This, you see, there's a famous story. Of course, it's not a real one, uh, about the human behavior. Uh, there is a very windy weather, and the lot of water, sea water comes to the shore, and there are a lot of small sea animals are coming to the uh, land part of the seashore, and a person who taken those and send it to back to the sea, and someone says, look, what are you doing? There are hundred thousands of seashells here. You can't save all of them. And he showed one of them in his hand. If you look at to me, and showed it him and throw it to the sea and say that, but that makes it tremendously, he says. So that is the lifestyle. So for individuals, you in your life, this is an ethical issue. I'm talking to you. In your life, you are young, and in the future, probably you are going to meet a lot of problems and a lot of uh, uh, discussions or decision making for individuals. While you face with this one, never consider that it might be very important for that person as well. You might change his or her uh, lifestyle. You might put him in the positive direction. All right. So uh, thank you for starting that one, Erdem. I also take your name, Erdem Kereş, but you are late. You should have come at 9 o'clock. Okay, so we have seen that ethics is classified. Uh, Normative ethics, descriptive ethics, and applied ethics. I'm not philosopher, therefore those normative, descriptive, uh, but applied ethics is important for me. I can I can understand it and I can explain it to you. Okay, applied ethics. The normative means norm, standard, and we have discussed that one last week. Deontological ethics is coming from the Greek word deon, so it's right or not. Uh, that kind of very definite ethics. But consequentialist ethics is the one you look at the result. If result is good, that means that action is right. I'm not 100% sure about this one. However, that is important too. Virtue ethics, of course, you know what virtue is. In Turkish, we call it erdem. So, a person who has got good morality values. Ahlaklı, probably ahlak is the Arabic word as well. We call them ahlaklı. Uh, that is virtue ethics. Is not interested in the action, but it's also the character of the person is important. These three are important. I'm not going to read those forms. Applied ethics important, and also it covers various topics together with it. You see, application areas provide kind of uh, ethic rules defined by those applied area, unique to those applied area. Now, the areas I put it here, uh, and it's going to be your home assignment as well. Bio and medicine ethics, technology and engineering ethics. That technology and engineering ethics are divided by two. One of them is advanced technologies, particularly ethics, but the other one is energy and environmental ethics. We have last week we have discussed those as well. Educational ethics, that's very, very important. Particularly, you should give free opportunity. Please listen carefully. Those 5%, please listen carefully. This is very important. You might involve teaching something. At least you are going to teach something to your daughter and son. You gave them to feel free to obtain the right points of his life or her life. You should not confine them, students, mainly if you take part in the teaching business, you should not try to form them in the way what you think. or what you believe that it is right. Of course, we are going to give moral issues. Moral issues are developed over thousands of years. Moral issues of humankind developed more than 1,000 years. Those issues are right. For example, particularly in social ethics topics, the gender equality, for example, cinsiyet eşitliği. Girls and boys should be treated equally according to law and according to also in social life as well. That I'm afraid that's not the case now. This is one point. Or in business, for example, you have to treat the people equally. You have to give equal chance to them. You should not consider one of them might be your relative, or one of them might be someone you know, the reference people. You should not divert them. You should treat them equally in your business if you are a manager. And also the political ethics. In political ethics, you should be fair, not to provide untrue material in order to put the rival, let's say, politicians down. You should treat them equally. You should not regard as an artificial intelligence, let's say, not true materials, not true pictures, or unfair simulations and things like this. This political ethics is important too. But most important probably today is the military ethics. You cannot, if you get some people from the other army, you should treat them well. You should feed them, you should keep them in a safe place, and you should not send a bomb to hospital. You should not send the bomb to civilians. These are not only ethical, of course. You see, that is very important what I'm going to say. Ethics is always confined with or parallel with law, justice system. There are international laws and there are also national laws as well. So, but ethics is something above the laws, but law supports the ethics. Of course, there are lot of judiciary defined rules defined by law that unethical behavior quite often becomes an offense. I'm going to tell you in Turkish. Birçok etik dışı davranış aynı zamanda suç haline de gelir. Bunu unutmayın. Don't forget that. All right. So these are the main major topics. Of course, these are applied ethics. This we are not philosophers, so we can understand the applied ethics only. Okay. The business ethics, for example, is very important. If you go down there, you can see that the technology and engineering ethics, artificial intelligence technologies, and other advanced technologies are important. Energy and environmental ethics, nuclear technologies, and also intellectual property rights. Intellectual property is something very important. If you invent something, you send a letter to the patent office, and patent office gave a certificate to you. But this is not ethics actually. It is a law. So if you violate the patent law, then of course you should pay penalty. And a lot of companies are paying penalties in the international area too. But ethics is something inside yourself. Even if you heard a new idea from your friend, and if you tell this idea to your managers, for example, you should also mention his name, since you are not invented that, or you are not developed that new idea by yourself. If you are developing a new idea together, you should not ignore the other one. You should define her name, his name anyway. Okay. So in business, in business too, it is important. But business ethics is very difficult, and it's a very deep science. There are a lot of material I have been reading about the while I was preparing myself for your course. I was reading materials about the corporates, for example, companies. The relationship between companies are very important, but not often they obey. For example, if a company has got a very talented person, then they offer a high salary to that person to purchase, to get that person uh, into his company. Anyway, but if you are a manager, your responsibility becomes higher. Of course, it's you all know how a manager should act. Manager should be a leader, but a good manager, I'm going to tell you something in my life. I used to play basketball in Istanbul, first basketball league when I was student. We used to have a very famous coach, and that coach was approaching us. He was a very famous fellow, and he was approaching us, just kind of humiliating us, saying that you can't play well, you are not very good players, and things like this. We and then we lost one game. We lost another one. We lost another one. You see. Then at the end, we saved the team and we remained in the league. We didn't drop from that league, but it was, I think, the third from the bottom. The last two dropped, and we were in the third from the bottom. It was a very bad year. But the year after that year, another coach came. He was a famous player too, but he treated us well. He said, we are going to do better. He said, I trust you. You can do that. Of course, with the transfer, we had another good player as well. And I must be fair to you. That that good player, in fact, also improved ourselves. But we played and we won. And another game, we won again. We won again. We won again. At the end, we there was a game at top, and there were two teams at top. We played with the top team, and we lost only one basket. You see, and then we couldn't be able to champion. But imagine how important the manager behavior would be. It is very important that if you become a manager somewhere, you have to handle your people, your workers properly, and they always give your hand to deal with their problems, to help them to promote. And then you are going to see that there is an award you are going to get. They are going to work harder. They are going to work harder for you, for your company, everything. Okay. Justice, ethics, I'm not going to say anything at all. If there is a rules, those rules should be obeyed. And if you are a judge, you have to be very careful to become fair. You always consider your mental, uh, let's say, strength, or mental fairness. You have to criticize your mental fairness, that whether you are taking the right decision or not. Okay. So that's ethics in sport is also another interesting area where you can see that uh, if the famous example of this one probably those you are interested in football uh, during the World Cup final, the what was the name of the Argentine player, very famous one, hay Allah ismi gitti aklımdan. Kimdi ya Arjantinli eliyle gol atan? He he managed to score goal with his hand. No, no, not Messi, Erdem. Maradona. That's right, Abdullah. Thank you. Maradona. He was Maradona. You know, he actually carefully and secretly touched his hand, but not many people saw it, including referee. And referee gave the goal, and then Argentine became the champion with that goal. And at the end, he said, "That is not my hand. It was the hand of God." You see, if there is a God over there, I'm sure he was, punished because of that. You understand what you mean? So he was cheating actually. Although he died, he was a very good player, by the way. But that is unethical behavior anyway. The typical unethical behavior. If, for example, if someone is injured and if you continue and make a score, that's not ethical actually. You should stop and let the referee to deal with those injured players and things like this. So we need ethical behaviors everywhere, in military area, in political, in sports and everything. But social life, of course, human rights. Human right means um, feeding. So getting enough income to breed the family. Feeding. You need enough income. So poverty, for example, should be avoided or um, should not be allowed anyway. It's up to the government, of course, not us. But if you know someone who needs help, you should do that. Human rights. There are other human rights as well. For example, freedom of speech. If someone says which you don't like, you cannot punish him. You just listen and judge whether he's right or wrong. Gender equality is another social ethics issue. Privacy of life is important too. You we gave a lot of forms. We fill the forms, and those forms go there, and then they dispatch those knowledge of the person. For example, every company, when you buy something, every company asks you, "Do we have your phone number?" Uh, and then they they gave those numbers to other people, and also they use it for marketing as well. So these are against the uh, ethics of the business as well. Privacy of life is important. And also doctors, for example, should not say anything about the sickness of the person, individual person, to other people. They should keep it secret. Anyway, there are a lot of rules like this. So this is the end of the the ethics. But ethics on artificial intelligence is very important, since uh, uh, we are no lady here. It's all men. So I could say gentlemen. Uh, Gentlemen, we must be. You are very young, and the world is changing in a very fast manner. Changing is occurring. And I'm sure when you graduated and you work, you are going to face with a lot of artificial intelligence applications. Cemile hoş geldin. Tam diyordun ki gentleman, bir lady comes. Şimdi şimdi I'm going to give two papers to you. So you are going to read those papers, by the way, and we are going to read those papers as well. Evet, gidelim bakalım. I even couldn't be able to read all of them, by the way, but these two are very good. First, I'm going to show you IEEE Code of Ethics. IEEE, you know what IEEE is? Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineering. It's mainly formed in United States, but now there are a number of Japanese, Chinese, European countries, scientists are, or electronic people and computer engineering people are inside the IEEE. So IEEE is the top engineering society in electrical and electronic world. ASME, ASME, is the engineering society for mechanical engineers. For us, IEEE, IEEE, three E's. And they declare the code of ethics, which is very illustrative. Those ethics are very illustrative to understand the topic for in our area, of course. To accept the responsibility in making engineering decisions consistent with the safety, health, and welfare of public, and to disclose promptly factors that might endanger the public environment. Did you understand that? You have to be careful about the safety. You are working on an area, safety, health, and the welfare of the public is important. If you realize something opposite in direction, then it is your duty to openly declare that there is something wrong with it. Of course, that is very important. However, nobody likes it, particularly the companies and also governments. If, for example, if there's a nuclear power station somewhere, which there is a malfunction over there, if you declare it, probably your company is going to sack you. Sizi işten atarlar. Değil mi? But it is your duty to tell that this is dangerous. Or if you know that there is a substance, there is a kind of material which is dangerous for public and human life and things like this, you have to explain it, you have to declare it openly. This is the first rule: safety, health. The second one: to avoid real and perceived conflicts of interest whenever possible, and to disclose them to affected parties when they do exist. The conflict of interest, çocuklar, is very important. Now, if I become in a jury to select the best technological method, but also if I am also working with that company, then it is called conflict of interest. You understand that? Bir daha söyleyeceğim. I'm going to tell it again. I'm in the position in the jury, so I'm going to define which company's method is going to be selected. Okay. However, one of the company, I have worked there. I know the friends there. So I can't be fair. Okay, this is called conflict of interest. Therefore, therefore you have to declare that you have to decline. İstifa etmeniz lazım. You have to decline, resign from your responsibility, saying that I have ties with that company. Okay. To be honest and realistic in stating claims or estimates based on available data. So you have a data, but you are cheating the people to implement, to make comments on this, and as if you draw a conclusion that is wrong, uh, on the benefit of your personal affairs or on the benefit of your own company and things like this. You have to be honest and realistic about the experimental results of the studies and things like this, even in lab. I remember that there was a fellow in east part of world. He was very famous, but at the end, a couple of years back later, they discovered that he was cheating the people. He was providing wrong uh, data. You see, changing the experimental data and put new data values suitable for his objective. Of course, his professorship is taken from him. To reject bribery in all its forms. Çocuklar bu çok yani that is also offense. So as I told you before, law and integrity are parallel. Ethics are parallel. Here, bribery is actually offense, so it's against law. However, in your engineering life or in your everywhere, you neither give bribery nor accept bribery. Giving bribery is also offense. Rüşvet. What is the Arabic in çocuklar? What's the Arabic bribery? Rüşvet mi o da? Is it rüşvet? Bekliyorum, yazın biriniz. Bribery. Chat'e açtım. Maradona'yı yazdınız da bunu bekliyorum. What is the Arabic name of the bribery? In Turkish we use rüşvet. Probably it's Arabic word or Persian. Orada mısınız? Are you there? Are you following me? Abdülbari, yes, Erdem. Rüşvet. Of course, rüşvet in Turkish. What about Arabic? Arabic aynısı demiş Erdem. Nizar says yes. All right. Okay, thank you. So I continue. Fifth rule. To improve the understanding of technology, its appropriate application and potential consequences. Bu more than ethics actually. You are trying to improve the technology, the understanding of technology, and its possible suitable applications and potential of consequences. Those consequences are good for human life is nice, but if it is bad, so as for the first rule we have already discussed, it should be declared immediately. There's a danger over here. To maintain and improve our technical competence and to undertake technological tasks for others only if qualified by training or experience, or after full disclosure of pertinent limitations. So that means you have to improve your technical level. The competence biliyorsunuz yetenek demek in Turkish. So you have to improve your maintain and improve. And also you have to take courses, you have to try to improve yourself. 7. To seek, accept, and offer honest criticism of technical work, to acknowledge and correct errors, and to credit properly to the contributions of others. You see, mainly in my age, we become judger of the projects, or we evaluate the master thesis, for example, or PhD thesis. Uh, Sometimes we supervise it, sometimes other people supervise it, and they invite us as an external examiner. In that case, we have to provide honest criticism and also correct errors, acknowledge the also the correct good things, and to give credit properly, contribution of others. Başkalarının yaptıklarını tebrik et diyor. Onları olumlu değerlendir. Yani bunu kendine yapma veyahut da yani eleştireceksen de bunu diyor honest criticism dediği dürüst bir şekilde eleştiriliyor. Yani bir taraf tutma demek istiyor. Olumlu ya da olumsuz taraf tutma. Don't become the part of it. 8. To treat fairly all persons regardless of such factors as race, religion, gender, disability, age or national origin. Çocuklar bu çok önemli. Bütün hayatınız boyunca buna dikkat edin. Şimdi özellikle Avrupalılarda bu konuda büyük bir kayıp var maalesef. Tabii bunun bir kısmının kusuru bizde. Some of these factors are losing ground in Western world, particularly the anti-Islamic feeling is growing over there for normal people, for general people. However, there are a lot of also intellectual people living in the Western world. They say, you see, have you seen those, criticizing what is happening in Gaza, in streets? Thousands of people are walking in the streets in London, in Paris, in other big cities. So there are a lot of good people living there. Good means intellectual, and the ethical levels are higher than the others. So they are not confined themselves. They are not put themselves in a hate or a narrow-minded approaches. So you have to be wide open to consider the cases in ethical manner. Okay, but this is very important. I read, treat fairly to all persons, regardless of such race, yani yani Çinli, Hintli, Arap, Türk vesaire bakmayacaksın. You are not going to look at it. Religion. We also have to be fair to Jews as well. Yahudilere de biz adil davranmak zorundayız. Bunu unutmayın. Onlar da Müslümanlara adil davranmak zorundalar. Ama biz, it's our duty to do not take their religion into account to decide. In company, for example, you have two persons. One of them is, if one of them is better, you are not going to look at his race, you are not going to look at his religion, you are not going to look at gender, erkek kadın, you are not going to look at disability. I believe nobody looks. Of course, some people might do that, since driving, for example, would be necessary, and age also. You should not care about this one, and the national origin. Çok önemli. Very important. 9. To avoid injuring others, their property, reputation, or employment by false or malicious action. Bunu tam anladınız mı? Did you understand that one? Diyor ki başkasına zarar vermeyin. Ama ne anlamda? Their property, malına. Their property. Property not only means house and car and things like this, or lab equipment, but property also might be intelligent. Reputation, bir çeşit şey, ün, ismi, yani şeyi, şöhreti, buna bir tecavüzde bulunmayın diyor. Or employment diyor, veyahut işiyle uğraşmayın diyor. Bu diyor by false or malicious action. Yani kötü niyetli veyahut da yanlış böyle hareketlerle, bilgilerle bunları tehlikeye atmayın diyor. It's important to avoid injuring others, their property, reputation or employment by false or malicious action. Sonuncusu galiba geldi. 10. To assist colleagues and co-workers in their professional development and to support them in following this code of ethics. Meslektaşlarınıza, colleagues and co-workers, ortak çalıştığınız insanlara in their professional development'larında yardım edin diyor. You help them for their professional developments and to support them in following this code of ethics. Bu etik kurallar çerçevesinde diyor, onları destek olun diyor. Şimdi yani taraf tutmayın demek istiyor. You should be fair. Okay? Although you are going to support them, but you should support equally. Not only one person. Okay? So these are code of ethics, are very important for electrical and electronic engineering society's code of ethics. Well, şimdi biz bir 5 dakika ara verelim ya da 10 dakika bir ara verelim. Eleven o 5. 10 dakika ara verdim. Break. As I told you before, I have I have two papers about ethic ethics by design for one of them is ethics by design for artificial intelligence. It's very new one. I just read the abstract now. In this paper, we present an approach for systematic and comprehensive inclusion of ethical considerations in the design and development process of artificial intelligence systems, called Ethics by Design for AI. Kısaltmışlar. You can see that abbreviation. The approach is the result of 3-year-long research effort and has recently been adopted by the European Commission as part of its ethics review procedure for AI projects. Now, as far as artificial intelligence is concerned, UNESCO, United Nations, and European Commission published some materials, some reports about it. But this paper is summarized those, and I liked it. We describe and explain the approach and its different components and its application to the development of artificial intelligence software and systems. We also compare it to other approaches in artificial intelligence ethics. And we consider limitations of the approach as well as potential criticism. So, first introduction. I'm going to give you a brief summary now first, introduction. Then the second one, ethics by design for artificial intelligence and its application. Third one, ethical framework for ethics by design for artificial intelligence framework. Çatı. Human agency, human intervention, let's say, and also design requirements. For example, we are going to look at it later, and also the third topic was human. The first one is to human agency. The other one is privacy and data governance. Fairness. Plus, the fourth one, implementation of ethic requirements within specific development methodologies. Bayağı zor bir iş. Implementation of ethics requirements within the specific development methodologies. The 6 phases of generic development model. This is artificial intelligence development in ethic wise. Specification of objectives, hedeflerin belirlenmesi, specification of requirements, taleplerin belirlenmesi, high level design, önce yukarıdan design, data collection and preparation, data toplanması filan, then detailed design, and testing and evolution. Devam ediyor. Bir başlıkta 5 Strengths, Limitations and the Role of Design Methodology. Bu başlık biliyorsunuz EBD in Artificial Ethics dediği şeyin başlığı, çalışmanın başlığı. Yani çalışmamız nerelerde kuvvetli? Which part of the strength kuvvetli, but there are limitations in our study. Strength, limitations and criticisms. So you can see that it's a very fair paper. Also, criticisms are discussed. And conclusion. Generally speaking, declarations. So I'm going to read the conclusion first. Introduction is long. That's why I don't want to read it first. The declarations I'm going to read. This article, conflict of interest. You remember what conflict of interest. On behalf of all authors, the corresponding author states that there is no conflict of interest. So that means what we are criticizing people or method or company, we have no personal discussion with them, no personal argument with them. You see, for example, I several times become uh, a judger of the projects, and they wrote me saying that if any student, any researcher in this company is one of your ex-master student, do not accept that, or your PhD student, or if you have a conflict with them in the past, don't accept, they say. You see, that's conflict of interest is a very wide topic. Open access. This article is licensed under Creative Commons Attribution for International License, which permits use, sharing, adaptation, distribution, and reproducing in any medium or format. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm using for teaching. As long as you give appropriate credit to the original authors, I do, and the source, provide the link to the Creative Commons license and indicate if changes were made. The images or other third-party material in this article are included in the article's Creative Commons license. Neyse uzatmayalım. Buradan da okursundu. The view to copy of this license. Referanslar var. Reference in any paper. If you do not provide a references, that means you are either ignorant, cahilsin, ignorant, or you deliberately do it to hide something. So you have to provide proper references. Don't forget that. Conclusion. Bu EBD AI diyor ya, EBD AI, onu hemen bir göstereceğim size. First page'de söyledi. Introduction'ı bir daha okuyacağım şimdi. Bakın. Ethics by Design for Artificial Intelligence. EBD, Ethics by Design, Ethics by Design for Artificial Intelligence. In this paper, we present an approach for systematic and comprehensive inclusion of ethical consideration in design and development process of artificial intelligence systems, called Ethics by Design for AI. The approach is the result of a 3-year-long research effort. 3 sene çalışmışlar. And has recently been adopted by European Commission as a part of its ethics review procedure for AI projects. Bu çok önemli. Avrupa Birliği bunları bir dakika bu adamlar nereden ya? Bir onlara bakmamız lazım. Refer 1-2 diyor. En arkaya bakacağım şimdi. Genelde authors konur. Yok. Yok. Bakarım sonra. Şimdi ben bir şeyi okuyayım da. Conclusion'u okuyayım çocuklar. Good. This research has received funding from European Union Horizon 2020 Framework Program for Research and Innovation under the specific grant agreement. There are 2 projects. One of them is Sherpa, the other one Sienna. Şimdi yalnız şey yapacağım çocuklar. Ben bu adamlara bir bakacağım. Bir dakika. Önce şu conclusion'u bir okuyayım size. Dinliyor muyuz? Are you following me? We have 10 students in our classroom, by the way. In this article, we presented an ethics by design approach for the development of AI systems. The approach specifies recommended processes and actions at different phases of artificial intelligence development intended to incorporate 6 ethical values or principles: agency, privacy, fairness, well-being, transparency, and accountability. Çocuklar bunları hemen ben bir sarartayım. Yapar mı acaba burada? Yapmayabilir. Yapmıyor. Yapar ya, bir dakika. Burada falan istemiyorum. Evet, bu kadar da küçük geldi. Okay. Neymiş? Agency, privacy, fairness, well-being, transparency and accountability. Accountability'yi tartışmıştık hatırlarsınız. Yani hesap verilebilir olmak veyahut da evet her zaman always open to the judges or examinations and things like this. Transparency is obvious. Türkçe'de de kullanıyoruz. We use it. Well-being is fairness is again the same. Privacy is now agency hangi anlamda kullandı? Bir dakika. Just a moment. Agency'ye Agenta falan diyor ama solicitor da diyor çocuklar. Solicitor biliyorsunuz avukat demek aynı zamanda. Aracılık, intervention. Biraz daha fazla bakacağım. Beğenmedim bunları. Bunlar benim bildiğim kelimeler. Medium, ortam. Facility, stepping stone, instrumentality. Bu belki. Evet, ölçülebilir gene. Bu da instrumentality, agency. Enteresan. Peki. These values are translated into design requirements, which are then translated into specific actions to be taken at different design phases. The approach always includes an ethical assessment of the specific system that is being designed and is intended to accommodate special as well as standard ethical issues in design. We also discussed how the approach relates to other approaches in artificial intelligence ethics, and we discussed its strength and potential weaknesses. Kuvvetini de kuvvetli yanlarında, zayıf yanlarında tartıştık diyor. The argument we have I'm sorry for spelling wrong, strived to establish is that ethics, strived, incelemek, çalışmak filan demek biliyorsunuz. The argument we have strived to establish is that ethics by design for artificial intelligence is an indispensable approach for the incorporation of ethical considerations in the design process of AI systems and therefore should be seen as a central approach in AI ethics overall. Evet, yani hakikaten iyi bir çalışma yapmışlar bunlar belli. It's a good work. But at the end, every step of the design, they always look at whether it's an ethical process or not. So they also present a method to remain in the ethical approaches while developing artificial intelligence software. This is one paper. Başlığına bir daha gideceğim daha doğrusu. Burada da bir tablo var. O tabloya da bir bakmak istiyorum. The steps on how to apply the ethics by design framework. Assessment. Instantiation. Instant biliyorsun an demek. Mapping. Haritalandırma. Application and implementation. Uygulama. Yani implementation da uygulama demek aslında. Yani bu dissemination gibi bir şey. Çocuklar bizim dersimizin en kötü yanı şu. Yani philosophy olduğu için behind this course there's a philosophy. So philosophy has got its own terms in English. And even in Turkish too, probably in Arabic too. So some words should not the way we use in our particularly technical papers, technical teaching materials. The English we use sometimes is not suitable the way they use. Evet, Ethics by Design for... Şimdi bir paper daha getireceğim. Bu 2023 çocuklar. 6 aylık bir paper. Ama işte 3 sene çalıştık diyor biliyorsunuz. We worked 3 years for this one. He says. They say. Şu adamlara ben bakacağım ya. Bir dakika ya. Sorry. Philip. Bray and Brand Dino. 1 ve 2 dediğine göre referanslı adı var mıdır acaba? Neyse bir şu sayfanın en altında olabilir. Ha burada. Twente, Netherland. Hollanda Twente Üniversitesi'nden bir tanesi. University of Twente, Netherlands, Twente Üniversitesi. The other one, Computer Science National University of Ireland, Maynooth, Ireland. Bakın enteresan çocuklar. İrlanda'yı yabana atmayın ha. İrlanda çok enteresan bir yer. Hele şimdi İngiltere Avrupa Birliği'nden çıktı ya. İrlanda daha da popüler olacak. Çünkü Avrupa Birliği ülkesi. Aynı zamanda ana dili İngilizce. Birçok firmanın headquarter'ı şu anda İrlanda'da zaten. Evet. September 2023 diyor ya. 21 September 2023. Yani bu ne kadar önce konmuş? Şimdi biz neredeyiz? December'dayız. September, Oktober, December. 2 ay evvel konmuş. Çok yeni bir paper. İyi. Şimdi öbür paper'a gidiyorum. I go to the other paper. Guideline bu da. Bu 2020'de yayınlanmış şimdi getirdiğim. The one before is 2020. Ethics by Design for Artificial Intelligence. Bir dakika değişmedi ki ya. Değişmedi. Yanlış şey açtım. Heh. Thilo Hagendorf. The Ethics of Artificial Ethics. Bu 2020'de yayınlanmış bir makale. Minds and Machines. Beyinler ve Makineler dergisinde. The Ethics of Artificial Intelligent Ethics, an Evaluation of Guidelines. Bunu okuyayım bakalım. Current advances in research, development and application of artificial intelligence systems have yielded a far-reaching discourse on AI ethics. In consequence, a number of ethics guidelines have been released in recent years. These guidelines comprise normative principles. Şimdi biz normative ethics'i biliyoruz. Yani bilinen değerler. Normative principles, kuralları olan diyelim. There are rules. Normative principles and recommendations aim to harness the disruptive potential of new AI technologies. Şimdi bu disruptive dediği kırıcı, engelleyici, önleyici falan demek. Başka teknolojileri. Zarar verir. Designed as a semi-systematic evaluation, this paper analyzes and compares 22 guidelines, highlighting overlap but also omissions. Yani kimler 22 tane şeyi incelemiş. Bunların diyor üst üste örtüşenlerini koydum ama diyor şeyleri de koydum diyor ki hangileri atlamış, neleri koymamış. As a result, I give a detailed overview of the field of AI ethics. Finally, I also examine to what extent the respective ethical principles and values are implemented in the practice of research, development and application of AI systems. Bir daha okuyacağım. Finally, I also examine to what extent the respective ethical principles and values are implemented in practice of research, development and application. Ne kadar uygulanıyor diyor. Buna baktım diyor. And how the effectiveness in the demand of AI ethics can be improved. Nasıl da artırabiliriz ona da baktım diyor. Bu çok daha ağır bir paper çocuklar. University Tübingen'den yazmış adam. Germany. Ana dili İngilizce değil. Bu tabii bir avantaj. Öbürleri de Hollandalıydı. Onların da İngilizce değildi ana dilleri. Biri İrlandalıydı. Birinin ana dili İngilizceydi. Okuyalım bakalım. 22 tane guideline'ı okudum, inceledim ve örtüşenlerini buldum diyor. Şimdi ben birazcık şey yapacağım çocuklar. Başlıklarına bakacağım önce. Tamam mı? Önce bir introduction yapmıştır muhakkak. Evet, burada bir introduction var. Orada zaten 22 tane 22 şeyi inceledim diye yazmış. Sonraki başlık Guidelines in Artificial Ethics bir metot sunmuş. Teker teker anlatıyor kim ne yapmış. Bakın tarihleriyle. Bunların hepsini okumuş. He already reads those papers. But IEEE Global Initiative on Ethics on Autonomous and Intelligent Systems diye bir şey var. Bakın bu ilginç. Bunu ben de bakacağım sonra. This paper mainly deals with the latter issue. The list of ethics guidelines considered in this article therefore includes compilations of cover of the field of AI ethics and papers are currently available. Evet, yani güzel okumuş ama hepsini. Hala bak. Bravo. Evet, bir tablo çıkarıyor. Şu tabloya ben bakacağım. Beraber bakacağız daha doğrusu. Şimdi çocuklar tabloya ne koyuyor etik olarak? O önemli. Şimdi o vardı yoktuyu boş verin. It's not important whether it's covering or not. But what are the topics considered as the major issues of the artificial intelligent ethics? Ona bakacağım. Şimdi privacy protection bir tanesi. Bakın. Tamam mı? Privacy protection. Biraz daha büyüteyim. Diğeri fairness, non-discriminative discrimination justice. Üçüncüsü accountability. Dördüncüsü transparency and openness. Safety and cyber security. Şimdi artificial intelligence olduğu için safety'den kasıt safety tabii mesela bir autonomous vehicle'da safety dersen aynı zamanda yolcunun da arabanın içindeki sürücünün de Yolda giden yolcunun da safety'si, I'm sorry for Turkish. For autonomous vehicle, of course we can understand that. Safety means the one which traveling inside the autonomous vehicle and the on the road the bicycle driver or pedestrian. But there is also cyber security is important. Okay. Common good, sustainability, well-being. Bu çok aşikar bir şey. Yani sürdürülebilir olacak, toplum için yararlı olacak ve iyi şeyler içerecek. Human oversight, control, auditing. Şimdi auditing biliyorsunuz denetleme demek aynı zamanda. It is called auditing. So controlling. So yani denetlenebilir olmak. Explainability and interpretability. Açıklanabilir olabilecek, bir de yorumlanabilir olabilecek. Science Policy Link. Bu bizim dersimizle tabii çok bağlantılı. Yani Science Policy'ye bağlantılı mı? Legislative Framework, kanuni şeyler, law, legal status of AI, future of employment, worker rights. Bunu zaten we have already discussed that one. Worker rights. Responsible intensified research funding. Bunu anlıyorsunuz değil mi? Research funding dediği şey, araştırma para kaynakları. TÜBİTAK bizde, Avrupa Birliği şeyde, Horizon Europe falan. Public awareness, education about AI and its risks. Dual use problem, military art. Anladım şimdi. Şimdi çocuklar, if you make a research on civil area, generally you declare that we are not going to use it in military. But nevertheless, whatever the research you do, it is applicable to military. Okay? This is what he's saying. Dual use problem. Yani hem sivilde hem de military'de kullanılma durumu. Field specific deliberations, health, military, mobility, etc. Yani alana ait şeyler. Human autonomy. Diverse in the field of AI, certification for AI products, protection of whistleblowers. Do you know what whistleblower is? Is there anyone who would like to say about this whistleblower? Hemen bakıyorsunuzdur belki de lügattan. Çocuklar whistleblower şey yapan demek. İspiyoncu yazmış bak. Kim yazmış? Cemile yazmış. Evet yani ona tabii ispiyon kelimesi Türkçe kötü kullanılır. It's not a very good word. But yani şey yapan, ihbar edeni koruyan. Tamam mı? Evet, muhbir. Doğru, muhbir. Yani ama ispiyoncu doğru yani. Biz tabii ispiyoncu deyince çok şey yaparız, aşağılarız ispiyoncuları. Halbuki hani mecbur kaldığın zaman yapacaksın çocuklar, yapın yani. Cultural differences in the şimdi bakın bu bir ethical issue. İspiyonculuk is an ethical issue. If you think that without your whistleblower there is a harm is going to occur in public or for individual, then you have to become whistleblower. But nevertheless, at the end, hopefully that result should be the way you think. Okay. Notes on technical implementations, proportion of women among authors. Şimdi bu yazarların, kadınların oranı. Length of word bile koymuş. Öf, öf, öf, öf. Number of ethical aspects. Bakın burası tamam. Yani bu konuları işlemiş. Ama kimler için işlemiş? European Commission. Ondan sonra Report on the Future AI Intelligence. Beijing. China var. Bilmem ne var. Yani neyse buraya girmeyeyim artık ya. Tamam. Zaten zamanımız da dolmak üzere. Şimdi neleri inceliyorduk? Başlıklara bakıyoruz sadece. Neleri atladım diyor. Omissions'lar diyor. Neleri ben diyor I haven't taken into account. Veyahut da kimler neyi atlamış. Yani hangi konuları which topics they don't cover. Şimdi bu bir dakika geri döneceğim. Multiple entries. Bir daha geri döneceğim. Başlıkları bir daha baştan alacağım çocuklar. Baştan alıyorum. Bir introduction. In every thesis we emphasize the importance of our topic, but also we present that the other people's work, how relevant their work together with your thesis, and what kind of improvement you have done in your thesis. That is what introduction is all about. So giving a good picture of the topic. Then the method he explained. Then guideline he has given. Second chapter. The guideline. And the method, of course, for the guideline he explained. 2.1. The method. Then 2.2 guideline içinde multiple entries, çoklu girişler görüyoruz. And the 2.3 omissions, neleri atlamışlar? Bir cümle okuyacağım burada. Despite the fact that the guidelines contain various parallels and several recurring topics, there are issues the guidelines do not discuss at all or only very occasionally. Here I want to give a non-exhaustive overview of issues. Yani sizi yormadan, non-exhaustive dediği canınızı çıkarmadan, çok uzun yazmadan demek istiyor. Overview of issues that are missing. Two things should be considered in this context. First, the sampling method used to select the AI ethics guidelines. Neyse, bu detaya girmeyelim. Sonra all in practice, business versus ethics. Bakın bu önemli ha çocuklar. Yani ethics in business an important topic. Business versus ethics. All race, yani işte bütün milletler diyelim. While the United States currently has the largest number of startups, China claims to be the world leader in AI in 2030. This claim is supported by the sheer amount of data that China has at its disposal to train its own AI systems as well as by the large. Evet, Çinliler hakikaten yani burada bu konuda da bence ben doğru olduğuna inanıyorum. 2030'da Amerika'yı geçerler. Ethics in practice. Bu benim daha çok ilgilendiğim konu. Hani veyahut da daha aklımın erdiği diyelim. Bir diğer başlık Loyalty to Guidelines. Yani artık guideline belirlenmiş. Ona kimler uyuyor, kimler uymuyor ona bakıyor. Advances in AI Ethics. Şimdi bu 2019'da falan yazmış, bitirmiş. 2020'de yayınlandı. Published in 2020. Now we are approaching 2024. The advances is going on, really. Virtue Ethics. Biliyorsunuz virtue ne demekti? Erdemli demek in Turkish. Ahlaklı aynı zamanda. Efendim Erdem. Ha Erdem. Ya isminin anlamı Erdem tabii. Doğru. Şaka yapıyor. Bir dakika ya, bir dakika. Başka bir şey yazdı. Erdemli demek yanlış diyor. Acaba öyle mi hakikaten? Bir dakika bakacağım şimdi. Bak erdemli şeydir. Birisini tanımlıyorsun sıfat olarak. Erdemli. Erdem ise bir isimdir. Yani ahlak demektir erdem. Tamam, biri isim, biri sıfat.
Hocam yanlış demedi. Yani yazacaktı yanlış diye
Öyle mi?
yazdı.
Peki tamam.
Yani şey yaz.
Tamam, tamam, tamam. Bir de gülümsemişsin orada. İyi, hadi bakalım. Neyse, zamanım daraldı. Ders bitmek üzere. Şunu devam edelim. Virtue Ethics aslında evet yani gene de erdemli etik demek isterim Türkçe ben buna. Şu conclusion'a bir göz atayım çocuklar. Şimdi ödevinizi göstereceğim çünkü. Currently, artificial intelligence ethics is falling in many, biraz büyütelim. Is failing. Oh no. Bu kötü bir başlangıç oldu. Başarısız oluyor diyor. Currently, artificial intelligence ethics is failing in many cases. Ethics lack of reinforcement mechanism. Deviations from the various codes of ethics have no consequences, and in case where ethics is integrated into institutions is mainly serves as a marketing strategy. Furthermore, empirical experiments show that reading ethics guidelines has no significant influence on the decision making. Evet, bir karamsar bir başlangıç yapmış. Ama hala da sayfa sayfa sonuç yazıyor ya. Çocuklar bu kadar yani bilmiyorum ya. Biz mühendis olarak ben bu kadar uzun yazılar şey geliyor bana. Şu son şeyi de okuyayım da şurada bir şeyler var. Ha, open access oluşunu yazıyor. Funding'i diyor ki Deutsche Alman hükümeti vermiş bak. German Research Foundation'dan almış şey desteği. Evet, bunlar tez yönetiyorlar çocuklar bu konularda. Şimdi China Internet Report diye başlamış. Neyse ben referansla falan vakit harcamış. Şimdi gelelim. Şimdi çocuklar bu makalelerin içinden sorry, I'm going to continue in English. To prepare an examination question inside those materials is going to be unfair to you. I believe this course is specially prepared for engineers to review their ethical responsibilities and to upgrade their level. We have already covered many topics, but main objective is such that you have to obey the scientific rules, you have to obey the technological rules, and also you have to be fair. Whatever you measure, you should not hide it. You should declare it properly, and you have to properly report it. You have to obey the other people's rights, particularly the intellectual property rights. And then you have to, if you become a manager, you have to uh, uh, share the equality, careful about the equality of your employers and also customers. You should not lie. You should not hide something. You should not also uh, spread wrong knowledge to the environment. That these are basic rules, and gender equality is important. Everything. Now I decided to make it easy for you. I'm not going to make a difficult examination for you, and I'm going to give this home assignment. This home assignment is going to be your final examination. Nerede o? Bakalım bulacağım şimdi. Final exam homework. The last digit of your university number defines your homework topic. You will be presenting the homework in PowerPoint in 10 minutes. Şimdi bakayım buradan bir iki isim sorayım. Ömer Yasir, senin son numaran kaç? 1. Sen o zaman Artificial Intelligence Technology üzerine bir şey hazırlayacaksın. Ethics şeysi hazırlayacaksın. Raporu. Tamam mı? 10 dakika içinde. Şimdi bir dakika bir bakayım. Abdülbari, what's your number, last digit? Oh, same, good. You are lucky. It's a very hot topic. Erdem sen ne diyorsun? Oh, it's another interesting topic. Bio and medicine ethics. Cemile? Oh, Cemile. Be careful your sentences, all right? Tamam, antimilitaristsin de yani gene de dikkatli yaz. Tamam Erdem, seninki sıfırsa sen medicine. Seninki çok kolay yani. En zor şeyinki, yani o kolay da Cemile'ninki biraz. İsmail sen ne yapacaksın? Tamam da.
Benim business etik 4.
Seninki de güzel konu ha. Yani manager'lar, worker right'lar falan oradaki etikler. Nizar, what about
Taxation.
you? Nizar, 3. Educational ethics. It's nice. So you can criticize me as well, Nizar. Okay? Okay. You understand that. So prepare your home assignments properly. Don't forget to give the references you are using, and it should be a good manner, starting with introduction, then detail, and then conclusion. That's you know the structure, of course. Okay. Well, I don't know. Can you start next week? If you can start next week, that means you get rid of that business, that job, before the examinations, final exams. I'm going to open up the classroom next week, and those who wants to present it, I'm going to give them a chance. All right? Okay. I'm going to take the exam. Sorry, attendance list. Don't leave. Okay, now you can leave. Thank you for attending classroom. Bye bye. All the best.
İyi günler hocam.